Welcome back to the channel, everybody. My name is Joe. You are watching Shooting Gallery. Today we got a pretty sweet comparison between an oldie and the new hotness. Guys, comment down below what you think, like this video, and let's get into it. This video is proudly sponsored by Anderson Manufacturing. If you have ever wondered on building your own AR-15, Anderson Manufacturing is where it's at. With their affordable, lower receivers, or if you want to buy a tricked out AR-15 like the Anderson Frontline, which we've proudly showed here on the channel, they got you covered. They are an American-made business right in Hebron, Kentucky, built in the US, great customer service, and they have a quality product. If you want to get into AR-15 building or just get into AR-15s, Anderson is where you want to go. Thank you, Anderson Manufacturing, for sponsoring today's video. Big thanks to our channel sponsor, Anderson Manufacturing. We appreciate them for all they do here. Make sure you use that promo code over on the green platform or on the affiliates page. You can save some money over at Anderson. Guys, this video, I know I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for, because on one hand, the Ruger P85 is not the prettiest, it's not the most ergonomic, and it's not the most probably combat effective. But one, I've never seen combat in my life. Two, I think this is probably the best, hands down pistol Ruger ever produced. Changed my mind on that, hard stance, best pistol they ever produced. I wish they did a reproduction of this. Now, you want to compare it to the RXM. For all intent and purposes, the RXM is Ruger's Glock clone before Glock came out with a modular chassis. That's pretty much what it is. This is a predecessor to a Gen 6 Glock. I don't know if Gen 6 is going to be a modular chassis, but I'm just throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks. So, guys, the P85 and the RXM is the ultimate conglomeration of, like, okay, what Ruger started with and now what they're doing, continuing to listen to their consumer base. Now, in this video, we're going to go over specs, we're going to go over what I thought, and we're also going to go over what I feel is the better of the two. Guys, stick to the end of the video where you can see my final thoughts. I think you guys are going to be pretty surprised, considering both pistols are vastly different. So, let's start off with the Ruger P85. Now, the P85, this is a Mark II, so the big difference between a P85 and a P85 Mark II. The Mark II is the generation that came out after the safety recall on the thumb safety, where it would pretty much, you'd flip it down to safe if it was cocked. And say if the hammer was cocked, you went to put it on safe, to put it in double action, it would set off and you would have a negligent discharge. Ruger, unlike another very prevalent New Hampshire-based company, said, you know what, hey, we messed up, guys. This is going to be a recall, not a voluntary upgrade program. So it is a steel slide, aluminum frame, double single action pistol. It comes with 3-dot sights. Obviously, you know, Novak style rear sight, and it has a, I want to say a more CZ style front sight where you have 2 roll pins going through the front. It is not ambidextrous on the slide stop side release, but it is ambidextrous on the thumb safety. It does have a decocker. It just has, you know, basic plastic grips, lanyard loop, all that good stuff. Curved trigger. This gun has probably easily 4,000 rounds through it. This was my very first concealed carry pistol, and it did come with 2 steel 15-round mags. Now, Metgar, I believe, makes magazines for them that go up. They're still 15 rounds, but you can get a Pro Mag 30 round mag. I don't have one of those, but I don't run Pro Mags. Now, you go over to the Ruger RXM. Now, the Ruger RXM is a striker fire pistol that was a collaboration between Ruger and Magpul. Now with Magpul, they created the grip. This is obviously a modular chassis like the 365, the 320, the Springfield Echelon, all of that. It's a modular chassis system where the serialized portion is the fire control unit. Now, this also takes Gen 3 components on the slides and a couple other things like, I believe, the magazine release. Comes with, again, this one comes with suppressor height sights that can co-witness through the optic, and it's a tritium front night sight blacked out in the rear. Gen 3 slide type components, barrel, all that good stuff. It does have a better trigger than a traditional Glock on it. Comes with two 15-round PMags. And this is optics ready. It has a modular optic system with location pins where you can take the RMS, the RMSC, DPP, and I believe there's one more I'm forgetting. Right now I am rocking the Gideon Optics Storm on here. I just dropped the video last week on how to install it on your Ruger RXM. But yeah, this is a Glock clone. They're both still sticking with, okay, they're both 9mm Parabellum or 9mm Luger, whatever you want to call it. They both take 15 round mags. I will say with the optic on it, it's not that much heavier. Let's get into some of the differences. Show some shooting footage, do all that stuff, continue the comparison. Now, when shooting both these pistols, obviously there's going to be a manual of arms. I carry a Glock style pistol. I carry a PSA dagger. Takes Glock mags. Recoil is generally about the same. When I carry this P85 fully loaded, this is obviously going to weigh more than the RXM. But since this is a heavier aluminum frame steel slide gun, recoil mitigation is much easier. I shoot bullseyes with this thing. I've shot so many rounds through this gun that if I could find a Kydex holster for it, I'd probably carry it again, just because I'm so accurate with it. This is the pistol that kind of started it all for me when it came to 9mm pistols. The shooting mechanics, I've never really shot this double action. I just kind of rack it, and now I have a mag in here for YouTube's purposes. There is nothing in the magazine, and the chamber is empty, so this weapon is safe, pointed in a safe direction. Now, I'll go ahead and press this out, and it almost reminds me of a 1911, not as much because it's a little bit fatter in width, but the trigger on this is broken in so well that it is a crisp single action trigger. Just pressing it out, it's like you know you have a gun in there. You know you have a gun in your hand. Very soft shooting, generous capacity. I was shooting 115 grain Blazer brass through this, and this P85, I've probably shot everything from steel cased to hollow points to any major 9mm 115 grain ball. I've never really had a malfunction. I also like to say this gun is pretty hard to limp wrist. If you manage to do it, congratulations. Now, shooting the RXM, but on the other hand, this gun has started to surprise me. I was very excited when Ruger came out with this striker fire. I've been on the hunt to collect every 9mm Glock 19 size and up handgun that Ruger makes. I have the P85. I'm looking for an SR9 full size. I'm looking for a Ruger American. I'd like to re-pick up a Ruger Security 9 full size. I had the compact. I didn't shoot it as much. I'd rather get the full size. And now I have the RXM. The stippling on this, shooting this, it shoots better than a Glock, I will say. Now, when I was comparing these two, I did not have the red dot. So shooting iron sights with this, I will say, for out the box, the sight system with it having a tritium front sight, very easy to pick it up. I was shooting some steel up at the clandestine shooting facility, if you haven't already figured that out through the shooting footage. But let's see some of the comparison. As we're shooting, I'm going to start talking and just show the clip as we're talking here. Now, you're going to look at the steel target on the left and the right. The left, I shot it with the Ruger P85, and then on the right was the Ruger RXM. I will say, just because I have more experience shooting with the Ruger P85, my RXM grouping was not the best, but I will say that it is a very comfortable handgun to shoot. With shooting mechanics and just shooting the pistols and specs aside, there are a few differences that you could kind of look at if you're deciding, do I get the new RXM, or if I want to save some money and get a good quality double single action Ruger P85. Now, the Ruger RXM is MSRP right now for about $399. You can get it a little bit cheaper on some other sites, but it's about $399. Sometimes places run them on sale for what I've seen. The Ruger P85, I've seen these go for as low as like $285, $290, all the way up to about $340. Solid option. And again, Ruger, I still believe, services these pistols, so if something happens, you can get parts very easily through like Numrich, Jack First, or just call Ruger itself. I believe they still service this under warranty, and that's one thing I do like about Ruger. Their warranty is phenomenal. They will help people out. I've literally sent a Ruger Mark I target pistol in for warranty service, and they've covered it, which that's pretty good considering Ruger is like one of the top 5 big companies in the United States. Now, the price, somewhat similar. I bet if you really searched for, if you use chromo pods out there, saving some Republic credits on the RXM, it would probably match the Ruger P85. Now, obviously, the Ruger RXM is coming in at a price point where, okay, it's matching a lot of other competitors on the market, like the Dagger, the Taurus, Glock, Smith & Wesson, all that good stuff. But it's coming out the gate optics ready. So this is a big contender for, say, the PSA Dagger, which we're going to do a comparison video down the road. It's a optics ready Glock style pistol that takes Glock magazines. These fit in most Glock 19 holsters. From what I've noticed, I have a few different companies that have Glock 19 holsters, and they fit. I haven't carried this yet because I haven't shot it as much. But if this keeps performing, this actually might replace my Dagger for all we know. Now, the P85, there's a couple downsides to this. One, it's an older handgun. Two, it's a little bit heavier with a fully loaded 15-round mag. Three, not optics ready. Ruger, if you are watching this out there, please reintroduce the Ruger P85 and give it an optics cut in a threaded barrel. Please. It would be amazing if I could do a Roland special on a Ruger P85. God, it would be amazing. But the Ruger P85 doesn't have all the fancy gizmos and gadgets that you can get on a modern striker fired pistol. Proprietary 15-round mag, so it doesn't take Glock mags, not optics ready. From my research, I do not know if they have a threaded barrel for this. I've been looking for a threaded barrel because I would love to suppress a Ruger P85 just to see how it would suppress. It doesn't have your 1913 pick rail, so this is like, again, it was made in the 80s. It was a Wonder 9. This pistol actually went up in the military contract trials for when the Beretta M9 got adopted. A lot of cops carry this. This was actually an old police officer's gun. It was private sailed to a friend. Then it was private sale to my brother, and then I bought this from my older brother. So this gun has seen some good use of it. Holster compatibility is very hard. You probably have to go through companies like DeSantis. You probably have to go through Galco, Uncle Mike's. Maybe if you find a custom Kydex holster maker out there, it would be really tough and really expensive. I have yet to find someone that makes a Kydex in the waistband holster for a P85. If you have one out there, if you're watching this and you make custom holsters, hit me up. I'll do a review on it, and man, you'll be my best friend. But it has its limitations, whereas the RXM, you can get holster compatibility. Magazines are very plentiful, which the magazines are very easy to find with the P85, but the RXM, it takes Glock mags. You can get OEM Glock mags, ETS, Magpul, KCI. I think Metgar even has metal mags now. It's much more customizable, and now with Magpul coming out with the full-size grip this summer, that is going to be a big contender for a concealed carry and all-around pistol. I like it with the Glock 19 size, but my pinky does kind of hang out. It does have a flared mag well integrated into the module. With a full-size grip, this is going to be probably one of my favorite shooting pistols once that comes out. They're coming out for like $40 too. So you have that customability. If you want to suppress it, just throw an aftermarket threaded barrel in there. You can go through Bear Creek Arsenal and pick up threaded barrel for under 60 Republic credits. Why not try it? I run a TrueMax barrel for all my threaded barrels. TrueMax is actually local to Naples, Florida, and I have had great success with it. Now, you can get more modern and Gucciify this, throw your red dots on here, or you can actually go with something a little bit more old school and focus on your fundamentals. Guys, it comes down to this. If you're looking to get a 9mm pistol, whether it's a full size or compact, subcompact, whatever, the market is absolutely flooded to where a lot of companies are starting to really focus in on that $300 to $400 9mm pistol. Ruger, I feel, knocked it out of the park with the RXM. This has about 200-300 rounds through it so far. I haven't really tried any defensive loads out of it because I'm running very low on my black belt ammunition. I need to pick up more, very much so, because it's my favorite carry ammunition. It's 135 grain hollow point. But this, I feel, is going to be a very serious contender once the larger grip modules come out for it. I can imagine that this is going to be very popular, people doing chassis systems with, since it is a modular grip module. I can see the 3D printing community getting really involved in coming up with different frames for it, which I'd like to see. If you're used to shooting Glocks, you would be pretty at home with this. But again, focusing on the fundamentals, like, yeah, this isn't, the P85 is not a CZ Shadow 2. This isn't a 1911. This isn't even a Beretta M92. This is a very niche double single action Wonder 9 that surprises a lot of people when they shoot it. Parts availability is out there. It doesn't have the best aftermarket support. They do make night sights available for it, which, you know, if you're going to be carrying this, when I did carry this, I had an Uncle Mike's. It's not the best. But I do have an out the waistband holster for it. I like the fact that there's steel 15 round mags. And with this being 4,000 rounds, it's broken in. It's not, the mags don't get stuck. I've yet to replace the magazine spring. I don't think I've replaced any parts on it. I do have to replace the front sight because it looks like it's getting shot out. For an affordability standpoint, you can find these very affordable. So if you're on a budget but you want just a gun to have in the house, bring to the range, and you don't want to spend a ton of money, the P85 I recommend to a lot of people because the weight balance of it, and also it's a heavier gun, so you're going to be a lot more accurate. The gun's not going to be flying around as much as it is with the Ruger RXM. Now, it's not saying this is a snappy gun at all. This is a very soft shooting 9mm strike and fire pistol, but the weight on the P85 is going to be a lot easier. Now, if I had my choice between the Ruger RXM and the P85, I'm going with the P85. Guys, I can't express to you how much I love this pistol. I know it's going to surprise a lot of people because you guys would think, oh, I'm going to go with the RXM. It's a Glock mag fed, optic ready, I can suppress it, all that good stuff. I love that pistol. I love the RXM. It's been shooting very well within 300 rounds of me testing it out. The P85 I have the most round count of out of any of my handguns. The closest gun I've ever had that I have more rounds through would probably be my old Marlin Model 60. That gun had about the same round count because that was the only other gun I had at one point. I don't have my Model 60 anymore, but I'm probably thinking about picking one up again just for nostalgia. The Ruger P85, I think if you can find one for under 300 sometimes, buy it. It's heavy enough to where you can have fun with it at the range, you can shoot competition with it, you can do so much with the P85, and you can still focus on your fundamentals of shooting. It serves a whole wide variety of purposes, whether it's self-defense, duty use, competition, target practice. You can shoot this gun and have a really fun time with it. The only downside to this is you don't have the holster compatibility as the RXM, and it doesn't have the cool whiz-bang features of it, but that's not what this gun is about. I have a very large affection for the P series, as I stated multiple times if you haven't followed this channel. The first handgun I ever shot was Ruger P345, and this is the first handgun I ever carried. So the P85 is a special gun to me, and I will hands down pick the P85. But that's not saying I don't love the RXM. I really enjoy this gun. It's a fun shooter. It really surprised me when I first took it to the range. Now I have the Gideon Optics Storm on here. I think this is going to be a pretty good contender once they come out with that full-size grip module. Guys, if you like this video, please do me a favor and give it a like. Comment down below. I'm sure you guys are going to roast me in the comments section saying that I'd pick a old 1985 era Ruger pistol over a newer modular chassis Glock clone that Ruger came out with. If you guys haven't followed me for a while, you can tell I am probably the biggest Ruger fanboy. I like Ruger just as much as Dark from DLDF Dark loves his Glocks. That's how much of a love affair I have with Ruger in general. So I love them both, but I just prefer the P85. Appreciate it. Shout down in the comments. Let's get that conversation going here. If you want to help support the channel, please do me a favor. Head over to the green platform. Give us a follow over there. Or if you see any of this video that you like, check out my affiliates page. I always link it in the description below, or the parts list will also be over on the green platform. Using those links actually helps us make videos like this possible with ammo and accessories and optics and stuff like that. So we really appreciate it if you use those. It would help us out so much. Check out Anderson Manufacturing. Use that promo code. Save some Benjamin Franklin's Republic credits as you would. And if you haven't subscribed, do that so. We appreciate it. I love you guys. Stay safe. Stay shooting. We'll see you soon. Peace.